Hello, Seiiti Arata. If I could buy your brain, how much it would cost? I mean, imagine there is some type of a magnetic scanner that basically can copy every single piece of knowledge, every skill you have. How much is your brain worth? Now imagine now that you are the buyer. You are in a room full of people you know. Do you agree that you would be willing to pay more money for the brain of some people and not so much for the brain of some other people? That's the idea. I'm using this metaphor here as a teaching technique for you to remember the following idea. Your brain today has a certain value. Depending on what you learn, then you can increase the value of your brain. The more skills, the more knowledge you intentionally acquire, the more valuable your mind becomes. Learning is like making a cognitive investment. Every time you acquire a new skill, you strengthen your understanding of certain topics, it's like making a deposit into this mental bank account. Like in a financial investment, right? Like deposits, they're not equal. Some types of learning, they have different types of value. Other types of investments, they contribute very little. And you want to maximize the value of your brain. And the best strategy is learning how to learn. The problem is that most of us struggle with a major obstacle, which is boredom. Boredom is the enemy that stands in the way of making your brain more valuable. Learning feels like a dull, repetitive task. It is easy to lose interest and the quality of your efforts will suffer. You've probably experienced this by yourself, right? You start with excitement, you're eager to learn something new, but then after a while, that enthusiasm fades as the process starts feeling more like a chore. And then when boredom wins, your motivation takes a hit. Your ability to actually learn and retain new information is gone. The solution is not pushing yourself to try harder. You have to approach learning in a different way by making the process more dynamic, more engaging. You can think of boredom like a villain that you have to defeat. If you keep using the same study technique over and over, well, boredom will eventually catch up to you. And the key here is to gamify your learning, to introduce elements that make each repetition feel like a new challenge, like a small victory. And the more varied your approach, the harder it will become for boredom to gain the upper hand. One effective method to beat boredom is to gamify your learning. What do I mean with that? You can, for example, use a streak challenge. You can use a goal to practice for a certain skill for a certain number of consecutive days, and each day, when you can actually do it, when you succeed, your streak grows longer, and breaking that streak becomes something you want to avoid. This taps into our innate desire to maintain progress and avoid losing what we've built. To make it even more powerful, you can reward yourself whenever you reach a certain key milestone. The key here is to create a system where every repetition feels like it's an achievement. It's motivating you to stay consistent even when the initial excitement fades. Let me illustrate all of that. It's a little bit theoretical, right? Theoretical. Let's put it into practice. Think of Julia, skin doctor, working in a beauty clinic. She's been wanting to have a more strong social media presence, but she's struggling. She wants to make videos about her treatments, about her patient success stories, and she decides to use this streak challenge, setting a goal to post a new video every day for 2 weeks. And to keep that streak alive, she can make small improvements every day. She can be testing different opening lines, she can add new visuals, she can include some short patient testimonials. And as her streak continues, she can notice her confidence growing, and then her videos can get more views, more comments, more shares. The thought of stopping, of breaking that streak can become basically unthinkable because she doesn't want to lose momentum that she's building. And by the end of that challenge, not only she could say that she can really see her improvement in her content, but also she created a habit of consistently engaging with her audience, making the whole learning process more effective and also more rewarding. That idea, that streak challenge, is just one example of how you can gamify your learning to keep your boredom at bay, to really enhance the value of your brain, you need to continually adjust your approach based on feedback. Don't just repeat the same actions mechanically. You have to be paying attention on what works, what doesn't work for you. Every time you practice, you have to identify areas where you can make small improvements. Whether that means, in the case of Julia, making better visuals, making concepts more clear to people, trying different techniques. The goal here is to use these feedback loops that keep this learning engaging, making it better. Next thing, don't let your learning stay trapped in theory. The real value of your brain increases when you apply what you've learned into real practical situations. When you connect new knowledge to real-life problems, real-life scenarios, like putting your cognitive investment to actually work. The information becomes more tangible, more valuable, because no longer it is an abstract idea, data stored in your brain you can actually use to solve real problems, make better decisions, create new things. And this adds a sense of purpose to the process, making every repetition count for more. And finally, one of the most powerful ways to overcome boredom is by using analogies, metaphors. I love that. Think of these as mental shortcuts that can help you link new information to things that you already understand. When you find relatable analogies, this is like attaching a new piece of knowledge to an old anchor point in your memory. That makes the whole learning process more intuitive, less abstract, more interesting. It becomes easier to stay engaged because you're not just memorizing. Now you are understanding. Take a look at the link. Go to arata.se/intelligence. We're going to be doing activities together to make your brain more valuable. And also remember the following. It's not just about acquiring random facts or practicing aimlessly. You're making smart, intentional investments in your mental assets by using the right techniques that beat boredom and keep the learning process dynamic. Every time you make a quality repetition, you're building more worth into your brain, turning it into a valuable asset, one smart investment at a time.